So guys like Cult of Dusty, Vadim Newsquick, The Creationist Cat, Destiny, Taryn Meyer, etc. You're never going to make these people happy, right? Because these are the same people a while ago who were complaining that, hey, you're only attacking SJWs, you're only attacking liberals, you're only attacking SJWs, you leave out the right, you don't focus on the alt-right, blah, yada, yada, yada. Now that they're actually debating people on the alt-right, talking about them more, now it's, oh, you don't have the right experts on. You're not talking to them the right way, right? Hey, you can literally never make these people happy, and you never will unless you do exactly as they say, right? They seem to think that creating servers, secret servers with really gay, autistic sounding names, and creating like a task force to create like disinformation, fake people, to infiltrate the alt-right and then like, fuck them over with fake news and shit. They think that is a better tactic to dealing with them, other than actually having like open dialogue and letting people speak and expose themselves with their own ideas. Like, I'm sure none of you guys are against letting an Islamic preacher, etc., say exactly what he believes, right? Then people could be like, holy shit, it's actually not, like, Islam is not really religion of peace. This guy says some pretty sick shit, right? So nobody really would oppose that. They would probably agree with that. They agree with all this other shit. But when it comes to these people, they're like, no, we'd rather do these shady ass tactics that actually gives the alt-right and these groups more legitimacy because of the way you're trying to discredit them, right? If you have to make up shit, all these things, try to mass flag their accounts, yada yada yada, then you actually give their arguments more strength. And Cult of Dusty, etc., they're all like, oh, you not providing a platform is not taking away their freedom of speech. And yes, you are correct. Technically, you are correct. And people have freedom of association. They do not need to do this. But if you believe in like the spirit of freedom of speech, right, then you will give them a platform to speak. Because a lot of these people are not given a right to speak on a lot of other major platforms. They're either censored from Twitter, censored from these things, or when they do get to speak, their viewpoints are misrepresented, etc. So then when people's viewpoints are misrepresented, it's a lot harder for you to combat them too, especially if you think they're so fucking horrible, right? So then, if you don't have a correct representation of people's views, then you're not going to be able to correctly assess and create arguments against those views, right? So you want people to come out and say exactly what they believe, even if it goes unchallenged, which it did not, right? People are using Sargon and saying like, oh, the way he did it propped up, Richard Spencer made him look good. It's like both of them came off looking kind of like assholes in that debate. Like JF and Styx came off looking the best, right? And them having a conversation would be better, if anything. But they're trying to use that to discredit the argument. They're like, oh, see, look, they're making all these alt-righters super happy and this and that. It's like, man, people are partisan. They're going to be praising the side that they want to praise, or they think won either way, even if the person lost. Spencer made a bunch of stupid points and shit, right? And made himself sound pretty dumb a few times. And a lot of people are already making tons of videos on this, right? So what he's doing is actually good. The tactics that these people want to do, like the secret task forces and shit, is stupid. And what Andywarski and stuff is doing is good, right? The debates, the discussions, you don't need to have these certain experts and shit on that they're talking about. It's bullshit. The average person can have these discussions and stuff, right? You do, like, and a lot of it was just discussions. It wasn't even really meant to be like a hardcore debate thing. We're not gonna get anywhere if we're just trying to one up one another and shit in a debate, like who won, etc. It's more like, okay, let's talk about what you believe. Let's talk about what you think. Let's see if what you have to say has some, some valid claims. Because honestly, you want to censor these people, but some of the shit they say is not wrong, right? I'm sorry to say, but some of the shit that they say probably needs to be heard, right? And you may disagree with it and you think it's dangerous, but it doesn't really fucking matter. And you yourself cannot give them a platform. You yourself can debate them any way, whatever you want. But I just find the criticisms funny coming from these people. There are people who are still arguing against Christians and shit. These are like atheist 1.0 people, right? They're stuck there. They're mad that everybody else is moving past them, talking about things that actually matter and people care about, right? He has all those views, and they weren't all the alt-right watching them, right? It was a bunch of people. You don't know if it was all white people and they're all being converted because they're watching it. There's people all different races and shit. You don't know the demographics and shit. So, like, I just love the button hurtness. It's like 3-4 days, Cult of Dusty, and all these people have been like bitching and like, oh, the signal boost and shit. It's like, I swear to God, they must be having their own secret meetings and be like, okay, this is the narrative. He's signal boosting. They don't have the correct experts. This and that, because they all seem to be saying the exact same thing, right? And I'm not saying that's for sure, but it does seem highly likely considering people like Spinosaurus and stuff who are saying the same things and whatnot were in some of these secret task forces. So, fuck all these people. Fuck Cult of Dusty for getting mad at Andywarski for giving Richard Spencer some of that money, right? Because before they were bitching, oh, you're just doing it all for money, just to keep it all yourself, etc. Now he gave it to all the people that were on the channel, right? That were on that stream. And now he's like, oh, see, he's paying the alt-right. He's paying these people. It's like, oh my fucking God. See, it doesn't matter what you do with these people. They're going to find fault in it. Giving Richard Spencer a few grand for the thousands of viewers that he brought onto the stream is justified. I don't give a fuck if he has beliefs that you disagree with, or you don't like, or you think are harmful. Whatever. He did bring all these people in, and that is how the free market works. That's how capitalism works. He got paid for his time. Like, that was the #1 trending fucking stream, and him getting that money is not going to kill anybody. These people, a lot of them are not the monsters you think they are. They're not as bad as SJWs. The SJWs, which people are saying were not as bad, I disagree. They are the ones going to shutting down events, with Antifa attacking people. Yes, Charlottesville happened. One person died. But that's one instance. There are plenty, dozens and dozens of instances of Antifa or just crazy protesters stopping, people on the left stopping free speech, stopping these things in universities, and they generally just are not for it. And they're the ones that are in actual government making policies. Like Anita Sarkeesian and all these people at one point went to the fucking UN, right? Do you see the alt-right going to the UN? No, you don't, right? So open your eyes, see that these people could barely even gather a couple hundred people at Charlottesville, and you're afraid of a few of them getting converted on a fucking stream. It's not going to be an issue. The ethno-state, if you watch the thing, it's not viable. He even said it's not viable. He admitted it. It's an ideal. So, stop getting your panties in a fucking knot. These people are just contrarians. They're mad with the times where people are going, come back to me, and I never changed. Everybody else is changing. They're moving further to the right. I'm the same. It's like, yes, that's the problem. You are the same. You haven't changed, right? You're stuck. You're stuck in the whole liberal type mindset where You're like, no, I'm right. The enemies are still the right-wing Christian conservatives, and what happened? Why are these people defending Christians now? Etc. It's like people don't understand it. It's like because we understand that in the time being, these people are probably a better ally to us than a lot of these fucking leftist socialists that are essentially going to destroy the country from the inside, with the policies and all these other things. So, at the very least, the Christians understand some of the things that we understand, we think is a big threat, and we agree on these things. So, stay stuck in the past, and nobody's going to listen to the raging and stuff of you on Twitter and stuff. It's been happening for days. Nobody really cares. You're gonna get your fans that are already haters to like your shit, but that's about it. But keep doing what you're doing, Andy. Good job so far, and keep having discussions that people want to listen to. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.